Hi, I'm Paul Geiger, New York City speech coach. Thanks for joining me on this tutorial, Thesis Gold. I'll be guiding you through the most effective ways to prepare your thesis presentation, overcome public speaking anxiety, and ultimately deliver with confidence. Good preparation is so important for delivering a clear and impactful thesis. Getting the necessary clarity requires that you sum up the reason for your thesis in one short sentence or phrase. My clients are familiar with my term for this phrase, a bumper sticker. It is a sentence or phrase short enough to fit on the back of a car bumper. It is also the 40,000-foot view, the overarching theme that sums up your overall message. It's not the long title of your thesis. It is the visceral reason why it's important. Luckily, you don't have to figure out your bumper sticker as much as you discover it, because it is already there. You probably have lots of great ideas and information about your topic. They all inform your understanding of your bumper sticker. However, one of the most important steps to good preparation is to trim down your thesis to the three most important ideas. This discipline will bring you to your overall bumper sticker. 3 ideas in any one sitting is pretty much everyone's limit. Write down the 3 ideas and think about how they connect, how they inform each other. For example, if we borrow Aziz-Jan Azimi's award-winning 2016 thesis, Press Freedom and Inflation in a Democracy, first, we start with his 3 most important ideas. Press freedom is a proxy for transparency. Inflation is a proxy for grievances, and there is a consistent interaction that causes mobilization. We then consider the connectivity between them. Press freedom, inflation, interaction. Press freedom, inflation, interaction. And we come up with the bumper sticker. What is the fuel for protest? This time we came up with a rhetorical question, but your bumper sticker can also simply be a bold statement. Either way, it has to pour out of you. Learning to find your bumper sticker in the overwhelming amount of information and possibilities about your topic is a very worthwhile discipline. It is the key to starting strong, staying focused on your agenda, and delivering a compelling narrative. The presentation of your thesis is first and foremost about clarity of spoken ideas. A concise message will project a sense of forward momentum, which will allow your listeners to recognize that you know where you're taking them. Remember, the process of finding a bumper sticker is more visceral than intellectual. In the delivery game, authenticity trumps intelligence. Don't get lost in the light show of information. Here is the rest of the progression to setting up a strong framework or hierarchy of ideas. Bumper stickers are bold, and they are powerful. When you lead with your bumper sticker, you are definitely offering an intriguing point of view that begs the question, how, what, or why? What is the fuel for protest? Well, what is it? Your 3 initial ideas are now the answers to that question. Press freedom, inflation, and their inevitable interaction. You have now established your bumper sticker at 40,000 feet and your 3 reasons at 20,000 feet. Everything below 20,000 feet is the details or the weeds. This hierarchy of ideas will serve you well when it comes time to deliver. You can and should return to the various levels throughout your presentation as you confidently connect all the dots. Now that you know the powerful personal reason for delivering your thesis, you can begin to shape the narrative. Here are 4 strong strategies you can try. Number 1, make your audience agree with you. Start with an undeniable truth, make a bold claim that contradicts it. Finally, offer a solution which is your bumper sticker and hierarchy of ideas. Number 2, you may want to try righting a wrong. Start with an undeniable truth, your bumper sticker, and then reveal a reality that opposes this truth or makes things more difficult. Offer your hierarchy of ideas for getting back to that truth. Number 3, start with a story. Then segue into your bumper sticker. Storytelling is an effective path to connection and empathy. Number 4, paint them a picture of comparison. Use a metaphor to explain the similarities between your bumper sticker and the thing you're comparing it to. It can be easy to get lost in the light show of possibilities and information. You have to get past the need to show everyone how smart you are and simply let it be a given. Watch out for these distracting needs. The need to be right, the need to make good impressions, the need to be comfortable, the need to connect, the need to overcome your fears, the need to cover it all, the need to be prepared for the unexpected. These all sound like priorities, but they're also distractions. Your job is to deliver a clear story with a sense of forward momentum. Your story needs to sound like it's going somewhere. Remember, you are the expert simply because you know a little bit more about the subject than your listeners. Avoid the temptation to only practice your delivery in your head. Stand up and speak your bumper stickers and your hierarchy of ideas out loud until they have become a part of your muscle memory. This is the crucial part of the preparation that will be your lifeline when you're standing in the vacuum of silence and all eyes are upon you. In order to mitigate the fear and overcome the nerves when it's your time in the spotlight, you have to recognize the real forces at work and know the mental and physical action steps that you can take. You see, there are 3 forces at work whenever any individual finds themselves in a public speaking scenario: the energy of attention, the sense of judgment, and the fear of consequences. Most people lump them all together and simply call it nerves. That nervous feeling is actually a reaction to the sudden awareness of the 3-headed monster coming toward you. It sounds like a fantasy, but these forces are real and ever present. In order to tame the beast, you must look at the 3 heads separately. The energy of attention is the strongest of the 3, and it is actually the trigger for the other 2. Whenever you speak to even one person, you can feel the energy of their presence, and they can feel yours. Increasing the number of people that you're addressing increases that level of attention or focus. It is a very real condition, just like the weather. You can't change it, and you can't ignore it, but you can see it for what it is. The energy of attention is the main reason why there is always a feeling of excitement when you speak to a group. The larger the group, the higher the level of attention. If you're uncomfortable with the energy, you will probably find yourself feeling nervous. The second force that suddenly enters a public speaker's awareness is the sense of judgment. Now, the word judgment itself often gets a bad rap. Nobody likes judgmental people, and a final judgment sounds so ominous and, well, final. But we use our judgment in so many ways to make good and important decisions every day. Judgment is also the sense that your listeners use to determine if you are indeed driving the bus, and if they are comfortable with following along. So when all eyes are on you, and you feel like everyone is judging you, they are. It is what they're supposed to do, and it is, in fact, what you want them to do. But the energy of attention can send that sense of judgment into a negative spiral. Acceptance of this reality goes a long way to helping you see things for what they are. The last head on the monster is the fear of consequences. This force is not as strong as the first 2, but is constantly there in the back of your mind. It can be a general feeling of wanting to make good impressions and taking advantage of this opportunity to advance your career. On a personal level, you may also fear stumbling and letting yourself down once again. Your mind can slide very quickly into the cloud of consequences if you don't recognize the triggers that push you there. It can happen in the blink of an eye if you're not prepared. So what can you do? When your thought process is clouded by worry, you need to go back to your body for some sense of control. You need to practice controlled breathing. In preparation for a big speech or presentation, most people will tell you to take a deep breath to calm down. I want to take it a step further. Take a deep breath, hold that breath for a moment, and recognize you own it. Then make a buzzing sound like a bee with a voiced Z until all of the air is out of your lungs, completely empty. Resist the urge to inhale for 2 or 3 seconds. Just sit there as if at the bottom of a very peaceful pool of water. Then slowly take a deep inhalation of air. Repeat this several times as you calm your mind and give yourself a physical reminder that you are at least in control of your breathing. Yes, it is a big deal. The breathing muscle in your body, your diaphragm, is responsible for your forward momentum. It also serves as your brakes to slow you down. The more you practice starting and stopping using your diaphragm, the more comfortable you will be with pausing and changing your speech rhythm. Pausing allows you the time you need to take another deliberate breath. It also helps keep your pace from escalating out of control, while giving your listeners a moment to process what you have just said. Breathing is probably the last thing you're thinking about when you're nervous. Train yourself to do it. Not only will you be loud enough to hear, but you will also sound committed to the words you're saying. It also will keep you connected to your body at a time when the stakes are high. You need this connection. So your breathing is your lifeline on the physical side. On the mental side, you have your prepared bumper sticker and hierarchy of ideas. Aha! Take a deep and deliberate breath and speak your bumper sticker. Try adding a gesture for an even deeper mind-body connection. You will be training your mind and your body to work together, giving you the confidence that you won't be sabotaged by the shaky start. Remember the 3 ideas that supported your bumper sticker? Yes. Insert them next as you push through the crucial opening 30 seconds of your presentation. This structure allows your listeners to follow along and process, and it is a strong framework for you to constantly return to if you happen to lose your train of thought. Remember that effective public speaking requires inward grounding. The outward expression can only be built on clarity of thought and the support of the body. And you thought it was all in your head. Delivering your thesis with impact requires that you utilize your breathing, coordinate your body language, and maintain your forward momentum. These are the essential tools in your speech technique toolbox. We've already talked about the importance of breathing as a lifeline to reduce your nerves. Don't stop there. Use it as the physical source of your forward momentum. Take the time to breathe deliberately. No one will actually know that is what you're doing. To your listeners, it will just look like you're truly considering your words, like you are measuring their importance. This integration of breathing will lend gravitas to your words and increase your authenticity quotient. I bet you didn't even know you had one, did you? Not only will you stay grounded in your body, but you will also project that you are the one driving the bus. Gesturing eases the flow of spoken words, phrases, and sentences. It has a direct effect on the rhythm of your speech. Gestures can be used to punctuate, emphasize, support, and add nuance to everything you say. It also gives you, the speaker, a stronger sense of commitment and connection to the words you're saying. Surprisingly, many people don't know the first thing about gesturing and feel uncomfortable trying to do it. Wrapping your head around the fact that there is an unlimited number of gestures may not help. So it's important to start with a small number of gestures that work consistently and then build from there. Remember that there will always be an urge to repeat this giving gesture because, after all, you are giving your thesis. Try to integrate some alternative gestures into your delivery arsenal. Let's begin with 6 common and effective gestures that you should become more comfortable using. I've given them names for quick reference and recognition. Try each of them slowly at first. You can then begin to slightly increase the pace of your delivery. For instance, number 1, the rewind. If we look ahead, the either or. People are undecided. The ball of wax. Let's start with a concept. The hammer. We need to work harder. The back there. Let's look at last year's numbers. The no way. Not on my watch. And the authentic. I have learned so much. Push through the initial observation that it feels a little forced. It's like giving up at the gym after only one day. Don't do it. There are enormous benefits to be gained. You will feel more comfortable the more you practice your gestures as described. Where you land your gestures will determine their effectiveness. I call this gesturing ETA. You should start the delivery of your gesture slightly ahead of the word you want to emphasize. This approach will aid in the sense of flow. Deliberate anticipation will keep your gestures from seeming like they're rushed or as if they're coming out of nowhere. They will support the words you're speaking in a very definitive way. Don't fall into the trap of overemphasizing your gestures in an effort to really get your point across. In other words, don't bounce those gestures. Deliver each gesture once and with confidence. Hold it in place until the impulse for the next gesture comes along. This simple adjustment to your gesturing will project an amazing amount of confidence. Let me give you an example. We find ourselves at a crossroad between growing the company and maintaining brand integrity. Overall, things look optimistic. But have we taken the time to determine where we're going? We have to ask ourselves, what really matters? Notice that gestures don't have to follow a pattern of always falling on the verb in a sentence, and they certainly don't always fall on the first word. This integration of gestures will quite noticeably slow your pace. They are meant to do that. Gestures project a higher level of commitment to the words you're saying. They also give you a feeling of being more grounded in your delivery. Here are a couple of other quick tips for presenting your thesis. Number 1, when working with PowerPoint, you need to lead your slides. Don't let your slides lead you. They should support you, but you are the compelling narrator. Number 2, when working with a large presentation space, move deliberately. Don't wander and don't stand frozen in place. Imagine a 6-box rectangle in front of you, and when you move from one box to the next, make sure you firmly establish your footing in that box. Oh, you can walk and talk, but you can also walk, then talk. Number 3, you will not be able to determine by the looks on your listeners' faces whether they are with you or not. Don't try to figure it out. Taking everyone's temperature in the room is not your priority. Know where you're going and simply take your listeners with you. I realize that all of these concepts are very easy to understand. The difficulty, of course, is in the execution. Don't wait until the day before your thesis. Start preparing early. Experiment with integrating all of these proven techniques and tips. They will also serve you well as you advance in your chosen career. Good luck on the big day.